Welcome to a Life Under Construction podcast. I'm your host, Rhoda Daniel, and I'm extremely glad to have you join me today because today we have a very, very special guest with us. We have with us Purnima, who is a professional social worker. She's a former colleague of mine, and she has a heart of gold, which I really, really admire.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Purnima, for joining us
Thank
today.
you for inviting me because it's a pleasure and it's a great opportunity for me to share my wisdom and thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we usually, when we were working together, we usually have a long chat about all these things. So finally, there is something which we can give to the others.
Exactly. And the only difference is that we are being recorded today.
Yes, that's the only bit nervous, but still that's fine. I feel.
Yeah, because I think the conversations we've had have always been really good. And that was the reason I invited you because I knew that you have so much insight to offer even at your young age. And
No, not no more. You're in 30s, early 30s, so
early 30s is also, yeah. Society might say differently,
yeah.
but I believe yes, yeah. And I think our conversation is going to help and inspire so many people. So I would like to start like rewind a little bit because I know bits and pieces of your life, hearing about your story. But I know you have a degree and masters in social work.
Yes.
But I also know you did computer application
Yeah.
as well as airport management. So how did you find your way into social work?
So it was a long story actually, but like any other teenager growing up, we'll have lots of dreams, right? Like we want to become a doctor, or by just be seeing people, we'll be like, yeah, I want to be that. I want to be this. I want to do lots of things. So that's what that was there in my mind. But as day goes on, few of my family members, they were in abroad, so they went for work. My uncle, be my father, and even my aunt, she was staying there for quite some time with my cousin and all. So I had this opportunity to go to airports often. So it might sound cringe or something, but still after looking at the air hostess, I'm just 5'7", but still I feel that I'm taller. So looking into the air hostess and the way they look, they whole carry themselves. So it actually influenced me, I have to say. So I just wanted to be like them, just to see like how things will be in their point of view, like how I'll be feeling if I'm there in their place. So I just wanted to experience all these things, but at the same time, I thought like I can also fly around cities, go to different places. So that was there in my mind. So that's the reason I had to choose this after completing my 12th standard. Like for me to secure a good percentage of marks in my 12th standard, like it was the highest of my whole in my educational career. So it was like around yeah, something around 89.7 percentage, which is like out of 1200 I had 1074. So and obviously my family members, they wanted me to get into a more secured yeah secured course at that point, like BCA or BSc nursing, something like that they wanted me to do. Especially my aunt, because she was there in abroad, so she meet up with people and they talk about all these professional things. So they wanted me to do PCA. Like with that percentage of mark, you can get into any good colleges. So and also people will feel proud of you, so they'll feel proud of themselves that their daughter is going to such and such college. They wanted that. Yeah, their parents, right?
Obviously,
So
want that they want their children to do something that they will be proud from there that my child is doing this. Yeah.
so that was there in them, but I don't know, but I stood on my point. Like I just wanted to go for aviation management, even though I don't know how deep it is going to be. So I did my 1 year aviation, diploma in aviation management. Meanwhile, I joined my BCA because they wanted some degree as a professional. Even I wanted to have some proper degree just to show in papers. Maybe I shouldn't, but still, yeah. I wanted to have that degree for me. I was enrolled myself in a distance education from the university. So I was pursuing it as soon as I completed my diploma. Then I had to I got a job in Chennai airport. So with Air India SATS, like I was working for British Airways, and meanwhile there for a period of 6 to 7 months. Then went on to Bangalore. There it was like Cathay Pacific, the same Air India SATS, like the same company I worked with. Then it was almost a year. So as day goes on, like it is like 12-hour shift. It's from like night 7 to morning 7, 8. So it's a night shift for me. So it is continuous night shifts. Then at that point, even I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Then I started meeting people in the airport, like especially students who come to that to foreign nationals who come to India for doing their service, as a part of their curriculum, as a social work part. So I had this chance to meet them, a few Germans and a few from Russia. So that actually pricked my mind, and it was like, what is there actually in that? I just wanted to know, because in my school days, I was a part of like NSS and NCC, and it all had in my mind. I just wanted to do something for others, something where I feel satisfaction, where I feel that I'm uh, where I can give some meaning to their own life. When people are stumbling, or when people are feeling that they don't have any path, like they don't know where to go. So I wanted to be there for the people. So that's where that's where this turning point happened. So then meanwhile I was in my final year of BCA. I wanted to complete the degree. So I quit my job over there and I came back within a span of 1 week. I decided, yes, this is enough for me. And there were lots of other things which is going on, which was happening in the back end of the field. But I felt that is not my cup of tea. Whatever happens, let it happen. But that's not for me.
And especially if you're not feeling that this is giving you satisfaction, then you do have to look at, because just imagine if you had continued, of course you're earning, of course you're having experiences, but then you're not content with your life. And that is important, because if we look at our lives only through the lens of maybe money, or through the lens of qualification or respect that people will give us because of what we are doing, then we just live our life for other people, I think, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think you made the right decision at the right time.
But I didn't know. I was all thinking in my mind what people are going to think, because I have done something aviation in the aviation field, because I just come from kind of a small town, or a rural part. So where as soon as I started my diploma in aviation, people got to know that I'm doing something different, other than their granddaughters or their daughters were doing. They were looking up to me and they were like, "Oh, your daughter is doing this. What is there? What is like?" They were all curious about the industry that I worked. So I had to give up that and I have to come back, and I didn't know how to face them, or I didn't know what people are going to think. See, we all have that insecurity, right? We all have that what they are going to think, whether the decision I made is okay or not. Will I be able to move on with the next field? Or if that is also not my thing, what is going to be there? So all these questions were there. But yeah, I should say definitely that my family was there for me. They were like, that's okay. If you are not okay with it, you can move on, you can do other things. So then I joined my MSW. I was in late, it was the end of almost August or September when I decided to join the college. Then I got into Nehru Mahavidyalaya, the college where I did my MSW. It was 2 years. And after that, yes, doing the 2 years journey, it was really so meaningful. I was so happy that, yes, there are lots of things that were happening around me. This was something, the decision that I made was correct. Yes. So I'm so happy with the decision that I made to choose social work as my career.
And as a profession, social work is not something that many people choose.
That's true.
Right. And so you had to choose that, despite what maybe people around would have said, oh, she moved from aviation to social work. Why social work? maybe she could have earned more in aviation industry. She could have traveled. There's so many benefits to that. But you were clear in your choice. And I do want to say that, like, you decided, okay, I want to help people, and you made it your career. But I know you also believe that it is not only the work of social workers to help people.
Yes.
Right? It is the responsibility of each and every individual in society, and that is how society is built. But there are many people listening who will say, no, NGO sector, charitable sector, social work sector is separate. I am a private individual, I am professionally doing my career. That is not my responsibility. So, what would you say to those people who believe that society, community is not their responsibility?
Like what you said is true. I agree with you. That people, I think that it is not my cup of, like, it's not my cup of tea, and I doesn't want to do that. But that's not. That's how. It's not like that. That's how we have to see it. Um, Service can be done in even a small way, like any small way, be it you are in a finance or in a tech field or in any kind of educational field, or anything, if you are in any kind of art, or if you are in theater or whatever it is, you have a lots of scope to practice it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you should be a social work by professional in order to do all the works. Even if you are in other field, you can do that service. Yeah, so people in private sector have lots of scope to support other people. For example, they can talk about inclusion of differently able people into the job roles. We have lots of LGBTQ community coming up. Even they are humans, right? So we can also talk for them just for a job role. We are not going to talk for their rights or something. That is something the other people who can do for it. As somebody who are working in a IT sector, you can do all these things. You can educate a child. You can spend your time with them, or you can support them financially, or just simple way to serve them is just being kind to people and just talk out for the justice. If there's something happening, if there's some injustice is happening in your office, that's okay. Don't think that why I should get into all this trouble. That's okay. That person is going to be happy. Whether the person is giving something back to you or not, don't expect it.
Yeah. Exactly, because sometimes we think we'll only do it for someone who can give something in
In
return.
return, yes.
And that is not humanity.
That is not
Humanity is
at all.
exactly the opposite of that. You have to be sensitive to the needs of people around you. And wherever we are, there are people. Whether we are in an office, whether we are a teacher in a school,
Yes.
the kids need counseling. There's so many things that we can do if we just open our eyes and look around us. And as a society, what has happened, there's a lot of books written and articles written about it, is that we have become more self centered.
Yeah.
We have stopped thinking about community. We have stopped thinking about even the next person next to us. We are only thinking about ourselves, our lives, our careers, our pleasures, our satisfaction, and we are not looking around us. And that is a very sad reality, because even I believe that when we start looking at other people, our life improves. And I have seen that in my own life, because I don't know if you know this about my life, but in my 20s, I was really inward looking, and I was struggling a lot with my emotions, my dissatisfaction with my life. I was struggling so much. And I think when I was 25, somehow I decided, okay, I'm going to stop thinking about only myself. I'm going to think about other people. What can I do? And then I started speaking in public, speaking in colleges. Then I started my YouTube channel. And the minute I did that, my life settled down. Like, I didn't struggle with those emotions. I didn't struggle with all those thoughts that were in my mind, because my focus was on other people.
Other people.
What can I do to serve? How can I help? And even our problems become smaller when we think of other people's problems, right?
It's beautifully said. That's true. That is true. When we are looking at the problem of others, definitely we will feel that we are less burdened. We are so privileged in life compared to others.
Yeah.
We are definitely in one or the other ways. we can look into that people, we can learn their lives, we can just observe them, how they are, how struggling they are, how they are coming off out of it. So all these things are lessons for us. And also something we will think that, like, we tell that I'm an independent person, I'm an independent woman. Yes, definitely we are independent, we are self sufficient, we are financially independent, but that doesn't mean that we don't need, or we are immune to a love, or a connection, or any kind of commitment. No, we are not, right? So we are all coexisting. Without the support of other people, it is definitely not possible for us to survive
Yeah.
in this world. So independent that doesn't mean that we are living isolated life. We are all sharing the space.
Yes.
So yes, we need each other. So just help or support people in the own possible ways that you can. These are the small simple ways which you can do, like just being kind to them. First, be kind to yourself before just looking into the others. That is something, like, there are lots of people who are talking about it, but still we don't know. Still there are lots, like, maybe lack of awareness, I suppose. So that's the reason we need lot more people to talk on taking care of our own self.
Yeah, it starts with
So
us,
yes.
and then it goes to other people. And I definitely was privileged in my family, my family. So they always, right from childhood, they taught me that your life is not your own. And though it took me some time to actually practically live like that, I had that exposure around me constantly, right from childhood, that what you have, who you are, and what you have is not only for yourself. You have to do it for other people. So I'm curious how you became this way, because I know we've had a lot of conversations when we look at events happening, the evil that is there, suffering that is there
Yeah.
around us. We always talk about it, and then we don't stop at, oh, this is happening. We think, okay, what can I do? Is there something that we can do? What is the root cause of what is happening? So we've had a lot of discussions,
Yes.
which honestly I don't have those type of discussions with many people our age, because everybody is talking about other things, like, marriage is an important thing, career is an important thing, but we always used to talk about what is happening and what can we
Can
do.
we do? Yes.
So what made you the way you are?
Uh, yeah. So here is what made me to be the way I am, as the people around me, the childrens around me, the or the family around me. So that is the reason which made me to be the person that I am today. Growing up in a joint family, I was like up to the age of 6 years. I was with my all my uncles and aunts. I grew up with them, and after that, after like 6 or 7 years, I was with my grandmother and my mother. So they brought me up, and I had my father was emotionally not available at that point for us. He was, though he was physically present, he was not emotionally available for any of us, like, to our family. So at that point, I don't even know, like, whether at that age, can I share this with people? Will it be okay to tell that my father is not available for me? So this is what it is in my home. I don't know whether it is right for me to talk about that to the people around me, maybe in my school, or even my best friend doesn't know, like, what it was happening in my house or in my life. So maybe after this, maybe I'll share this with her so that she can also see it. And yeah, but I'm thankful for many people. But at that point, as a person, as an individual, I was going through lots of things. But at some point, I just decided I had to stop it, because there is no one around me who is going to come and stop me, or there is no one who is going to make me feel happy or make me feel that yes, it is okay, it's going to be better. I'm not expecting for the perfect things to happen. I wanting somebody to come and tell me that that's okay. Will happen. It will be changed for better. So you can stick on to it. Just hold on to it. I wanted some person to come and tell me that. But when it was not happening, there I decided that I should be the own catalyst of my own emotions. That's where I decided there is no use in expecting someone else to come and do things for me. No, that's not going to happen. So here I'm the one who have to let others, uh, have to tell them that this is how it is going to be. So you should be there for you. Only you can make the changes in your own life. So that's how it all started. Then I decided, like, yes, I was just having some kind of proper interactions with my mother as I grew up. Like after my schoolings, we'll have long conversations. Like, this is how it is. So this is how our life is going to be. So all these things, we spoke. And also I had the support of my extended family. Like my uncles were there, aunt were there. Like they pamper me, and they make me feel that I'm their own kid. And so that there was all this part, but still there'll be some emptiness within you, right? they, See, we speak more about a single parent child and all, but we just miss this aspect where a child is growing up with a emotionally unavailable father. So there are lots of children, there are lots of boys and girls who are growing up in that family environment. So as they grow up, they face lots of challenges in connecting with people. At some point of time, I was like, as you mentioned before, like I was also struggling with my own emotions. I was introvert. Even now, I feel comfort in sharing things with one person instead of sharing it with the others. It's kind of ambivert. So, yes, being social where I have to be social, but most of the time, I love the space that I have within me. That's how I decided that I should be somebody who can understand that kind of people, so understand the children who are growing up in that household, understand the struggles that they are facing, the family is facing. It's not their mistake. It's not my father's mistake. He grew up in that manner, so I can't do anything for that. What I can do is I can simply understand him. I can just tell him that is okay, that's okay, that's how he was, and accept it as it is. So that's how I decided that I'll get more deeper into working with childrens. Yes, there is a victim and there is a perpetrator. The same way, there is a family of a perpetrator as well as the family of the victim. A person is perpetrated doesn't mean that the whole family is agreeing to that person's crime, right? They're also human being. They should also survive there in this society. But once it is committed, the way we see their family is so different. There are lots of children. For examples, in order to say, we have sex workers, we have NGOs where we worked, where we support in the organization. For the like for their children's and all. So see how their children's will be, how the people in the community see them as, like, it is still a taboo. Should we talk to that child? Should we go and play with that child? People, we think, no, we shouldn't do all this. We shouldn't send our child to them, or else our child becomes something bad. No, there is nothing like that. Definitely, no. It is, that's how the mindset of people is. So there is the small thing which we can do is like this: view the world in a different perspective. So that's how you can be someone different. You can be someone with kind heartedness. You can do all these things. So that's how it all changed for me, with my family being like that. And yes, it happened for me. That's why I'm like this. So there are two aspects. Like, one, you have to be you should have gone through it already, or you should be an empathetic person who is more towards people, who is more inclined towards people, who wanted to do lots of things for the people. So once, if you're in this way, there is no turning back. You'll not have any apathy. So it is just this way. So that's how it all.
Yeah, I really admire the choice that you made, because finally it's the choice. Yes, you can go through something and you could have remained a victim to your circumstances, and you could have blamed life and said, why it happened to me. But that acceptance of, okay, it happened, and it's not only happened to you, there's so many people going through so many different things. So that acceptance, and then that turning that acceptance into something more, something more beneficial for other people, not only for yourself, for so many people. Like you have worked with so many people, and I'm sure their lives have been impacted. And I am sure you'll continue to work with so many people across the world, impacting lives. So that conscious choice was really important in your life. And I think even it comes down to who you are as a person. Like we talked about it even earlier, like it starts with you first, right? And when we want to think about others or serve others, we have to stop certain things in our life. Like we cannot be selfish, we cannot have ego, we cannot have pride.
But there will also be this counter influences. We can't say that no, I'm perfect. I was like this. I was like this straight in my path. No, we had lots of counter influences, but we still stick on to the choices that we made because we know how good it brings to us, how happy we will be, or how satisfied we will be. So that's how we were sticking on to certain habits or certain characters. The generation which are coming, maybe Gen Z or Alpha, whatever like all the names they had, whatever it is. They all should just remember that there'll be a lot of counter influences. There'll be people who influence us in different ways, but still just stick on to your grounds. Just see where you are from. Stick on to the basics, the fundamental things. We are humans, so we need each other. We need each other. Without that, we can't survive. And as you mentioned previously, even we doesn't know about the neighbors. For instance, when my uncles were working in abroad, like he was with family, but his friends, few of them, they were living alone in the company apartments. And suddenly there were 2 3 incidents where they passed away in their own apartment, and they got to know after a day or two. There are lots of incidents which are happening. Even when we get into the YouTube, and when we get into Insta, we see lots of such news, right? We are not even that aware about our environment. We doesn't know what the person who's near to us doing. Are we that? I don't know what the exact word to put there, but are we that?
They're selfish. Become
I
selfish.
don't know.
I think we have become very selfish. We have also become numb. I think we're hearing so many news that nothing is affecting us anymore. Like you are hearing like rapes are happening every day. And you read the news, and if you keep reading, it's like, oh, rapes are happening. It's happening. Exactly. So we have become so numb to that. Either we stop, because I know so many people who have told me I want to remain positive. So I have stopped reading the news. And I'm like, I don't think that is the right way.
Exactly. You should read the news and
Then do something more about it. So then that is more positive. But I think we protect ourselves. So we are trying to protect ourselves. And we are only focusing on, as long as I am happy, I don't care.
don't care. Yeah.
But that's a very sad way of living, because one day we will be the victims of all these things that are happening. It's not going to leave us alone. We are not living in isolation. So if our country is a certain way and we say that, okay, India is this way or that way,
You are also to blame. You are living here, right? You are here in this place.
so what are you doing about it?
Yeah.
Right? You can complain about the government, you can complain about some, but there are definitely people who are doing something. And I'm not saying do something big, just do something,
Yeah.
right? Wherever you are.
A small act will do. Only by making small choices, you definitely your character is going to change, and it will become a habit. Then whenever something is happening, then for example, I often take public transport. So whenever I just sit in a whenever I sit in a bus, or if there is any inclined seat or something, just make sure that you are pushing your seat back to its original how it was, so that the other person is not going to get burdened by it. It is a simple act what you can make some choices. So like if you're going somewhere, and if you're eating a street food or something, if there are any waste, try to throw it in the dustbin or keep it in your purse or somewhere, so that you can just dispose it in the waste box or whatever it is. So these are the small app that you can make changes. So if you're continuously doing it, obviously your children is going to observe it, and you'll be having, because none of the characters that we talk or that we are having, nothing came by birth, right? We all observed, we all learned from the people around us, the great minds who are with us. I'm so grateful to have lots of like great leaders, I have to say, because I had my like previous, like even though he's my mentor till now, like I consider it like that. I've learned lots of things in my life, so that's how I preserved that particular character within me. Because when you bring into like when you're bringing greater minds in your life, then definitely you'll stick on to them, you'll learn from them, you'll observe it, it'll impact you. Like how we tell now, like if like-minded people are together, obviously you will also become like them. So surround yourself with good books, that's what he often says. And also my previous in my first organization, I had a like supervisor who gives my own space in working. He never judges people, he is so good with all his basics. So that's how I learned, like keep all your basics right, so that everything will fall in place. Just know where you come from instead of aspiring to more. If you know that you come from here, then you'll go there. That will definitely happen.
Yeah. So that aspiring to just the next level, right? And doing the small things is something that we have learned from the people around us, and therefore even protecting ourselves from the wrong influence is important.
Yes.
Because as you said, surround yourself with good people or good books. I think social media nowadays is just the wrongest influence. It's great.
Even they can do lots of changes, lots of positive things, lots of changes they can bring. You see, instead of making a like having a family chat or something, they can show something which is happening really in the society, so that they can just voice out for it, telling that this is the wrong way which is happening. Maybe we can make it in this way. So they can make lots of other shots or videos or anything they can make in that line.
There are people doing that, but there are very few of them.
Few of them. And also, how many are watching that? How many people are viewing that? There are less number of views. There are less number of views to the good content. So that's how, is that how we are?
Yeah, I think that's a choice again we have to make, that if we are on social media, and I'm very conscious of that, like who am I following on social media? Because I believe in the power of social media. I know the negative impacts also. I wish I could delete the apps from my phone, but I'm also using it to.
No, like what you're doing currently is a great work, because you're focusing on the people who are actually working in the ground level, not the people who are in the higher position or the ones who are influencing or the celebrities. You're just focusing on the normal people who are working in the ground level, uh so that our voices will be heard. They will also know, oh, this is what the reality is, this is what is happening. People know about the reality, but still they want someone to come and tell, speak up. So this is how it is, this is how I have been impacted, so this is how my life is by doing such kind of things.
Yeah.
So that is needed for people nowadays.
Yeah, they need to know that there are others just like them, who have a background just like them, who are still doing something in the world. And that is why I am doing this, because I want that message to go to people. And therefore, my last question to you is that if there's someone watching who maybe got inspired and said, okay, maybe I'm not a social worker, but I do want to serve people wherever I am, what would be the piece of advice you give them?
Maybe it's not advice, few points which I can share with you all is like, first, just start by simple act of kindness. Start loving yourself. Don't harm yourself or hurt yourself, hate yourself, all those things. So it all starts from there. It is an act of service, obviously. So once you start doing that, it will be impacting your family members. The second thing is your family. Start with your family. Just know what the other person is going through. We all will be sitting in our own world. We'll be just scrolling and scrolling to see what's happening in their own minds. Because nowadays, more than the service in the community, you need to do service in your own family, because we don't know what our family members are going through, what our mom is going through, what my dad is going through, or my brother in the sense. So that's where you can start. Once in a month, just go for some charities, just go for any kind of NGO, just be there with the children or with the family. Just get to know what is happening around you, instead of seeing all the YouTube channels and all those things. Just look into the global perspective of like the problems, the challenges that is happening around the world. So what is happening there in Ukraine, what's happening there in, there are lots of things happening around us globally, not even one or two to keep on telling. There are lots of things that are happening. Just see what are the root causes for all those things, where all these things can be changed. It all can be done only by changing your own self. And the next thing will be like, uh, just care for the ones as you care for your own self. So that's what, like, I just think that the others are also a part of you. Think of them as your own family. So own it, own everyone, each of the fellow human. Only then you can bring lots of changes in the society. And all the small act, be keep your own promises, whatever you're giving to your loved ones, or talk for them, talk for your friends, speak out for the ones who are vulnerable, include them in your part of in the part of your life. Instead of socializing with the ones you know, just go out, spend some time in old age home. There are people, even they are life, right? They are also like a grandma and grandpa. Just spend time with them, at least an hour. That will do. Like, we spend lots of things in other things. Even if we go out for a day, we need at least, nowadays we need at least 1,000 to 2,000 rupees in order to have food or whatever it is. So just spend that amount in any kind of services. You're financially supporting them, or educate a child. So all these small ways you can also serve in whatever field you are. If you are there, if you are an influencer, or if you are in any kind of art field, then you can make lots of videos, or you can just go show the reality, real things that is happening out there, voice out the opinions of the people which are not heard. And a final thing is like, none of us are permanent here in this earth. We all rented out this place. None of this space,
Not ours.
not ours. So, as if for example, like, if we are renting an apartment, so when we are going vacating the apartment, what we will be doing? We'll be making sure that everything is fixed, everything is cleaned, and it is looking perfect.
Leave it better. That's what I would say. Like, yeah, before we leave, and not wait. I know many people say, okay, I'll do this after retirement. And I'm like, don't need to wait. There won't be time. And now we do have time. And though people say I'm very busy and I don't have time, I think if we check how much time we spend on our screens, we take that time and we use it to make this world a better place in any small way. We don't have to do big things, but there is definitely a ripple effect to anything that we do. And that, I think, is a very beautiful message to share with the people who are listening, because if they are doing one thing, it will multiply, and it will change the world. And so I would like to end with some words of George Bernard Shaw, because I think it ends the whole episode very beautifully. He says that I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. And he says, I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work for the community, the more I live. So I felt it was a very beautiful way to put what we are talking about, because there is a lot of darkness in the world. And the only way the darkness can get pushed back is if good people do something and are the light in the world. And I'm so thankful for good people like you who are doing their part in this world. No, really, I really admire what you have done, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to do because you have a heart that I really like. And I see that in very few people, but I believe that the more we talk about it, the more things we do, people will see that and maybe learn from that and start doing in their small way whatever they can. So thank you so much, Purnima, for joining me today. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed our guest and this episode. And I will see you again next week with another topic that will help you live a life of purpose and help you live the life that you were always meant to live.